Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha, Racha, Kodash, Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Double honors to my elder, Harawan Banyasharala of the Lions Den Camp, located here in Jacksonville, Florida. Also, salutations to the sincere Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm Nakar Harab Banyasharala, coming out of the Lions Den Camp of Yasharala, located here in Jacksonville, Florida. And today, I'll be coming out with a lesson, and it's a small lesson, a lamb back lesson on the elders video of this camp that he just recently did about the people taking all these loans and stuff, all these government, I would say, gifts from the government, like not being able to pay rent since like 2-3 years ago or something like that, when this whole little thing first started, and they ain't had to pay rent. But it's like now it's getting to a point, it has gotten to a point, I should say, to where um these landlords and all this stuff, they want their money, because they gotta, for upkeep of the property and all this, and and various other things, but they want their money, and people are expected to pay this money, and it is upwards of $30,000. Like, them people want all that money back that they wasn't getting, because why? They fell for Esau's daintiness. They fell for his meats, his foods. They fell for the gift. A gift destroyeth the heart. Just roughly paraphrasing. So they fell for Esau's his gifts. You got to think, Jake already desirous of Esau's dainties to begin with. So let's continue. Let's start at Proverbs chapter 23, verse 1. It says, "When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee." So when you sit down to eat, or you say you taking some favors and or a gift, it means to consider diligently. It means to think about it, to pay attention. You know, what is before you? What is this gonna cost me? What am I gonna gain? What am I gonna lose? You got to think about it, make a conscious decision. That's what the Lord is saying. And it says, "And put a knife to thy throat if thou be given." So, like, if thou be a man given to appetite. So it says, put a knife to your throat if you be given to appetite. And 2/3 of our people, Jake, is given to appetite. You put it in front of them, be like, eyes get big, get bigger than his stomach. You know. But Lord says, put a knife, meaning stop yourself. Consider. Verse 3. It says, "Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat." And that rent and freeze thing, that was a deceitful meat. You know, Esau like to come and say, "Oh well, we didn't think that it would have this effect." No, they did it because they knew that it would have that effect. Because the whole purpose is to get people out of those places. And you just have to come up with a reason to do it. This is all a plan. But it says, "Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat." Jake took the bait and took hook, line, and sinker on dry land. The Lord says, don't be desirous of Esau's dainties, his offers, his gifts. Don't be desirous of it. Now, if you chilling and minding your business, like, hey, I'm gonna give you something, cool. But at the same time, you still gotta think about it. Like, why you doing this? What's the reason? But see, Jake is desirous. So when Jake was like, "Boy, I ain't gotta pay rent," Jake was thinking like, "Oh yeah, you ain't gotta pay rent and you ain't gotta pay no more money forever." A lot of people took that because they was looking at it as a benefit. But in the end, it played against them. Now they owing upwards of $20,000 plus, $30,000 for where they live. A lot of people don't have that to just be like, "Here go your $30,000, go on about your business." And see, Esau knows these things. But that's why the Lord tells us not to be desirous of his dainties, because they are deceitful meat. Esau is deceitful. It's gonna hurt you on the back end. It's good right now, but it hurts you on the back end. That's how Esau moves. That's how he does. But let's continue. Let's go to Sirach, chapter 12. This is Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. You know what? Let me go to 36 first. Hold on. Let me go to 36 first. Sirach chapter 36. This is Sirach chapter 36, verse 29. It says, "Be not unsatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meat." So you can't have an unsatiable appetite. You can't have a, you got to be careful. Don't just want. But see, that's what Jake did. Jake just want. So, but the Lord tells you not to be unsatiable in any dainty thing. Don't be greedy. Don't be so quick to jump on stuff. But Jake jumped on this. Esau too. A lot of people jumped on this renting thing. A lot of people did. But the Lord says, don't be unsatiable in any dainty thing. You can't be desirous of Esau's meats because they're deceitful meats. And guess what? Now people are about to feel the squeeze if they have not already. So that's why it says, don't be insatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats. Verse 30, for excess of meats bringeth sickness, and surfeiting, so like your surfeiting, will turn into chola. So there you go. It says, for excess of meats bringeth forth sickness. You know, Esau was giving out all these little subsidies and all this stuff, and it was all backhanded deal, back-ended repercussions. They was taking part of Esau's excess meats, and now guess what? It's gonna bring sickness to them. That surfeiting, that eating good, that whatever it is they were doing is going to turn into chola, meaning they took in too much, and now it's gonna start causing them problems. You know, like sometimes, like a baby, if you feed them too much, what happens? They throw up. If you're an adult, if you've drank too much, eventually you throw up. Why? But by surfeiting, over drinking, overdoing it, taking in too much. Now guess what? Now you're throwing up. So excess of meats bringeth forth sickness. You can look at that in twofold. You can look at that twofold. Actual food and beliefs, philosophies, and doctrines. And guess what? It brings forth sickness. Spiritual sickness. Physical sickness. You know, twofold. And by surfeiting, that's when you're just doing too much. It'll turn into a chola. Eventually, you're going to spit that up. You're going to throw it up. You're going to vomit. Well, see, people didn't consider that when Esau was giving out all. They were looking at it. They was looking at it as a benefit, and it may have been a benefit in the short term, but here we now in the long term, and it is now a grievous injury that people are going to suffer. But let's continue. My last point. Let's go to Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, take good heed, and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast looked through a looking glass. So like it, thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. So you never trust your enemy, and Esau ain't to be trusted. No, nothing. The borders of the border of wickedness is not to be trusted. Point blank. Period. Just like iron will rust if it's left out in the elements, such as rain, and then it get up under and start to oxidize and it causes rust. So is Esau's wickedness, meaning he's always gonna be wicked. No matter if he do something, if it seemingly do something good, it's still something wicked behind it, or behind it, yeah. And that's how Esau get out. Like with this renting thing, Esau know this was gonna affect people at the back end. He knew this already. He did it anyway. Verse 11, though he humble himself and go crouching, though he come in the scene like, hey, yeah, I'm here to help you. We're gonna give you this stuff. You guess what? You gotta take good heed. I mean, you gotta pay attention. You gotta be like, yeah, okay, I see. And beware, meaning be careful. Don't turn your back. Don't look off the wrong way. Because Esau, he can go off quick and do something retarded real fast. They go left with Esau fast. But let's continue. It says, and thou shalt be unto him. Like when you pan it, it'll be just like if you was looking through a looking glass. You're like, oh man, it's cloudy. And you wipe it and you do all this cleaning and you look through it and it's still cloudy. That's how you that's what it's talking about. That's how you'll know that Esau's rust has not been altogether wiped away, meaning he really don't intend to change. He's gonna always do something. That was a grievous move that Esau made, and it's gonna affect thousands or hundreds of thousands of people. So yeah, it was just a quick lesson. Don't desire Esau's dainties; they are deceitful meat. Shalom.